That means everything. Eyes connected to everything. And that's why. I'm in everything. All eyes on me. All eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
Dude, I finally memorized your third verse on Fly On. I finally memorized that. One day I'm gonna say it at the beginning of the show, just to blow your mind. I'm telling you, if y'all have not heard, it's the third verse. It's the third verse for me. He ate and left no crumbs.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you, he ate and left no freaking crumbs. I was like,
You scoop them up.
shoes. I was like, he really said that. It was good. It was good. John, I don't know, this particular album, he ate and left no crumbs. I'm so serious from beginning to the end. Yeah. Brother on the fifth
But
floor.
he manages to do that though.
Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and get started. I still get nervous doing this. I really do. I really do. After all of this time, I still get nervous. Hands.
It's a good thing, though.
It is a good thing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad we're going to introduce you. I'm going to introduce you, Miss Erin.
I was looking at my name there.
Your name, I see it.
It's all plain. Everybody got something.
Something spectacular.
Right, I'm just Erin. That's it.
That's all good.
That's all good.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Honey, you will flow. You will flow.
All the famous divas. All the famous divas in the world go by one name. Mariah. Whitney, Cher.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
Where you go. All right, this is things that people don't want to talk about, brought to you by God Level. That will be me. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. 314, home of the original St. Paul's. You can't get it nowhere else but here. I am a mother. I'm a nurse. I'm an entrepreneur. I have this podcast. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father with 5 hip-hop albums streaming on all major streaming platforms now. Conscious, positive, uplifting hip-hop, real lyricism, bars. Salute.
King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace, this King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. And as always, I am
of service.
He just changed it.
He really did. Saba Diamond, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Hetepu, I'm your humble servant, Saba Diamond, life coach, personal trainer, nutritionist, owner of the Abode of Osar Institute of Personal Excellence. So just look for me in your backyard. Look for me on your classes. I'll be throwing courses and everything together. So just pay attention. We coming once I secure these contracts. Peace.
Oh my God, that's what's up. Ivy Turner, you want to go? Oh, Ivy. Damn it.
I'm related to Tina. It's okay.
Ivy Turner. I always. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm related to Tina, girl. She had the best legs in the business, and I will consider myself the best legs in my bedroom. Here we go.
That's right, baby.
In my house. In my house.
Cheese, but okay.
Oh.
Because I mean, if she had great macaroni and cheese, that would have been worth bragging about. But I mean, the legs, yeah.
I do have good macaroni and cheese too. You know something?
I thought you was going to talk about, Turner having the best because y'all are close relatives,
Maybe that's the reason why I do have some of the best mac and cheese. Anyway, look, me, you're talking to me and you already know, me and my little fellas, they be rolling. I'm Ivy. Hey, everybody. I'm Ivy Tanner, also known as TikTok and Attentive Ivy, your resident loudmouth. I'm always saying some stuff. I don't know what's going to come out this. I don't know what's going to happen. I think they like me on here because they just know I be going on a tangent. I think that's the reason why they have me on here. I think. But yeah, I am a lover of life. I am a mother. I am a sister. I am a friend. I am a future art therapist. I am a lover of psychology. I talk about mental health and ADHD for Black girls, Black boys, because it's important in our community. And I am honored, as always, to be here. Me and my 17 little furry peoples. Yes, my 17 hamsters. Thank you very much.
17.
17. They didn't went up.
I'm saying.
It's 9 or 10.
I had to replace the one that Diamond fricasseed the other day.
I'm finna say I didn't eat enough. You still got 17. What happened?
Protein.
That's a shame.
We have a new guest. Miss Erin.
Hey.
How you doing? Creation Divine.
Hey everyone.
Good knowing.
My name's Erin. I'm from Columbia, Missouri. I've been knowing God Level for all of her life mostly. And I'm a pharmacy technician. And yes, I love life. I love Black people. I love all things Black. Everything is beautiful. And I didn't know I had to have an introduction for myself, so I'm writing one up now. I didn't give me no homework.
I'm sorry. You will. I mean, you learn as you go. We all.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure out who I am for this is all over with.
It took us some time. It takes time. Don't worry.
Thank you. I appreciate you. My assistant is back. Thank you, baby. I love her. Tonight we are just doing current events. You want to put the phone number up? Oh, you got it. Let me see. Make sure that is the right number because I think I had to upload a new one. We're just doing Africa and Hawaii. I don't know if anyone's been watching what's going on in Hawaii and what's coming out of Hawaii. Lahaina, I hope I'm saying that correctly, was burned completely down. Yeah, that's the right number. Was burned completely down. A lot of people lost their lives, their businesses, their homes, their cars. And there's a lot of controversy going on up there with how it even started. I just heard some. I better be careful, man. So yeah, I wanna go ahead and lean into that first, and then we can discuss what's going on in Africa. Does anybody have any thoughts concerning Hawaii?
So I was reading the other day, or actually, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Erin.
No, you're fine. I was just wondering why is it still burning and they got so much moisture, so much water surrounding. Like, why are those fires still even going there? What is fueling the fires?
What is?
Yeah. Especially
Scientifically,
that. No, go ahead. I was about to hit some science too, but go ahead and hit your science.
No, I was just thinking scientifically, like open air, it stokes fire, right? So I mean, it's an island and it's surrounded by nothing but open air and ocean. So I'm thinking that like the air is continuing to stoke the fires, even though they try to put them out. You know, like the embers might maybe pop back, or am I wrong?
No, let me tell you a little bit. Being that I was a firefighter, went through fire science school. So what happens when you're in the moist, you know what water, the reason why water puts out fire is because it removes the heat. So once you have water, you can dispel the heat, because fire needs air to live. It needs heat, and it also needs a good source, you know, a good initiator or whatever, right? So, but when you remove any one of those things, you can't have a fire. So when you have a tropical environment, this is why you don't get rainforests catching on fire. That's why you don't get, you know, moist environments and stuff like that catching on fire, because the water dispels the heat and a fire cannot live. Even with all that air, it cannot live because you're removing the heat. Because with the heat, that's what creates the environment for the fire to, you know, build on itself. But so it, again, makes no sense, because that's still a very, and then if you seen the pictures, the pictures that they've been, you see how it's jumping, it's crossing streets. Yeah. And somehow there was a big wind that came that was blowing those embers too. Like, you know, something else is going on. So you have to keep having something to keep like putting fire to it or starting the fire. You had to keep that incinerator going in order for that to happen like that. So something is fishy.
Oh yeah.
Something is fishy.
I've seen pictures where blue umbrellas went untouched, right in the middle of everything else being burned. Like 4 blue umbrellas just standing there, untouched, and everything else around it burned. You can see where they were talking about how the police was stopping people from leaving, where the cars stop at the end of the street. Oh, I wish I had pictures to show. I should have did that. Uploaded some
Like, I know
pictures.
we can.
Huh?
I think
No, I said I can look for some pictures real quick.
Yeah.
I do know one thing that I
yesterday
heard.
they were saying they was go ahead.
No, go ahead, Aaron. You knew, girl. Go ahead.
Oh, well, thank you. I think they were having some water issues, like for trying to preserve water. Are they running out of? That makes no sense, but I guess they were running out of water, and they've been trying
Running
to
out of
preserve
water?
it. Yeah,
Running out of
I'm
water.
looking at it.
around the
Looking at it
island.
now. It says so from the long running water. A shift prompt after the fight over the water on the day of the Lahaina fires. The governor says that the state has tipped too far in trying to preserve water.
So I don't know if y'all know, but that's a whole nother thing too, where they create false droughts. They've done this in California many times, where they create false droughts. You know, those droughts, again, they're not really warranted. All they're doing is just stopping the water from coming certain places and calling it a drought. And that also is to allow, you know, certain areas to dry out enough. And like I say, there's a big science. This hasn't happened in Hawaii. I can't remember. I don't know if they even said if this ever happened. But it makes no sense. That's still a very, very moist and tropical place, you know? So how can you run out of water? And when you're in the middle of water.
That part. I was watching a video of a guy who was saying, he said, we were winning at first until they turned the water off. They were winning at first, winning against the fire until they turned the water off. They said the whole day was eerie. The alarms never did sound to alert the resident that it was a problem. School was canceled. So now the question is, as of today, is where is the children? And I'm like, oh, wow. And then the videos are surfacing of people actually in the water watching flames.
Right. Seeing that too.
Down. And I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. So yeah, if you're not a conspiracy theorist, you will be after watching that. Excuse my language.
I was taking a second, right, to read because to read about why there was no water, because I mean, you know, you got to get a good question. Why was there no water when the island surrounded by water? And I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, I'm like, you know, I've never worked in firefighting, so I was like, maybe, you know, do you have to treat the water or something of that sort? And I was like,
no.
That's interesting. I was like, maybe you have to take the salt out. I don't know. But something that I did hear that was interesting, that I saw a news report about, is that they said that they said that a lot of the people who own land they're trying to keep back the predatory real estate people, because they're trying to, you know, they're basically trying to come in there, you know, they're like, oh, we got this scorched land, so, you know, go ahead and give that to me for like at a 10% markdown, you know what I'm saying, 10 times less the price than what it's really worth, you know, like they're trying to keep those people away, because right now you've got a lot of predatory real estate developers who are looking to buy up all of that land out there. And if you know anything about Hawaii, the land in Hawaii, period, is just expensive. And it's been marked up because of real estate developers, which means that people who have been living there their entire lives unless it was willed in their family, they can't even afford to live on the islands anymore because they can't afford the land. So, and then you've got these real estate developers who are trying to come in here and get pennies on the dollar. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
really stinky.
Sad.
So I wonder if it was all connected, you know?
They're
Yeah,
fighting
that's
over
I'm
bad
gonna-
because it's not even the fires aren't even over, and they're trying to buy up the land.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah,
are they
it is.
anticipating that it's going to be 50 more acres, or I mean, how
Pretty
does that
much,
work?
yeah. No, I mean they're looking to see because they know that if the land is burned, that they're gonna have
Right.
to do a lot of work to try to get it back to the state and where it was. But I'm like, even so, still, I'm like, the first thing is I think that if you are native to the island, those are the first people who should be thinking about let's relocate assets. It shouldn't be people who are coming in from the mainland, and trying to come there and buy up that stuff. But that's just my own interpretation, and I'm gonna leave it alone. Cause yeah,
You're right. That's history, though.
yeah,
Always somebody coming in buying up. Not the natives don't get anything.
man, come on, man, come
So
on,
it's
man.
always somebody coming in buying up stuff and taking it from the natives. So yeah, I could see them coming over there quickly.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah,
only will I
and
give
if
you so much for these 10 acres, but the other 50 that's gonna burn, I'll get those too.
man,
We'll just
come
buy
on,
them while they
man.
on fire. You get somebody, fear provokes a lot of different things, and you get somebody like, I got 50 more acres that's gonna burn up. What I'm gonna do? Oh, here, I'll give you 2 million, even though it's worth 200.
Exactly.
Just go ahead and take these 2 million because it's not gonna be worth anything to you.
Yep.
Mhm.
And they said that on the news report that a couple of news reports I was listening to, they said that the people who are the most like out of balance are the ones who are either indigenous or they're poor. And more than likely, if you're indigenous to the island, you're not necessarily going to have all the resources. I used to live on Oahu, one of the other islands. Like I lived there for like a year and a half, close to 2 years. And I was just like, I was really introduced to just how much colonization tried to squeeze the original culture like out of the Hawaiian Islands, and like just like the predatory practices. So learning that there was a fire, I was like, oh man, it was just sad just thinking about it, because I was like, you really don't. Yeah, it's just sad to think about. It's just sad.
I don't know how true
Yeah.
this is, but there's a couple of videos surfacing that people are actually getting evicted from the homes that was already burned down.
Oh wait.
Yeah. They are over there taking over. The chief of police, that he's under question. The guy that did the emergency disaster, he has resigned.
Yeah,
Because
and I understand that. I
It-
understand
it
that
is
he realizes what he's up against. Because
Right.
it's hard to see, but there's two sides. There's really three sides to this whole thing. And those emergency workers, they are legit. They are true people who are out there for the safety of everybody else. But if you heard his his press release, he was saying that the sirens, they when they do the tests on the sirens, and it had already trained everybody that this is a tsunami, so those are tsunami alarms.
Okay.
And he said that normally when those alarms come on, everybody runs back inland, and so they would have been running toward the fire. If they had, for those who didn't even know the fires was going on, they would have started running toward the fire. And he said, furthermore, those alarms are positioned in a place to where even the people where the sirens were, where the fires were, probably wouldn't have heard the sirens, because he said so. It was so he was using a lot of logic in his decision not to do that. But I'm pretty sure they was just as baffled as anybody as to where this all came from.
Yeah.
So, but he realizes they're gonna look for somebody to blame,
Yeah,
and so
somebody
it'll
gotta
be
fall.
them.
Somebody's
Got to fall. So he's
Yeah,
like, well, let me get on out the way.
Right, exactly. Before it even gets any worse and gets blown out of proportion, because I can imagine the things that people will be saying to him or even trying to do to him, thinking that it's some foul play, and he just going off his best judgment considering the circumstances.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
But it sounds like Hurricane Katrina all over to me, if you ask me.
Mm.
A quick way to come
Yeah.
up on some real estate and change the
Well,
whole dynamic of the island.
Mm.
it's fun. It's funny you should say that, because the whole thing, the lesson in all this is what we're seeing here. We're looking at the masters of cause and effect, and this is we can complain about it. We can do that, and or we can also take a note, take a page out of their book, because like they say, the world is a stage. That means they're going to create some drama to get a certain effect. They
Yeah.
understand that they can't just walk up to people and say, especially if you done sit, in the meeting room with this long table and it's a whole bunch of billionaire real estate tycoons saying, hey, we need that land so we can make this money and this blah, blah, blah. And say, okay, well, how are we going to make this happen? Well, this is how we'll make it happen. We need to, let's pay off some of these people in charge of these satellites or drones and have them to shoot lasers down to cause fires and make everybody scurry. They won't even know what hit them because you can't see the lasers with your naked eye. So they won't even know. You know what I'm saying? So this kind of thing could have been discussed, and this is why everybody's bedazzled, okay, as to what went on. So if I
Don't
say,
do
so
it.
you have to
Bedazzled?
understand, bedazzled.
Let me write that down.
That means
That's new.
you've
Hold
been
on.
done.
Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
Let me look up
And
bedazzled.
And mafoozled. So look up all of that.
But so is that like baffled and bedazzled all
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twice.
Okay, so you double baffled.
It's bedlam of bedazzled.
Word, though.
He just
Exactly.
created a whole new
It's
word.
still a real word.
Ah!
New word. That's what's
But
up.
Yeah,
that's how
bedazzled,
that's right. That's how confused you get. That's
Yeah.
because you don't know what
we all
happened.
sitting here like, huh?
You right.
Negro, that's getting put on a t-shirt somewhere. I don't even know, but
Right.
bedazzled is going down.
Oh no, you should hear some of the words that my priestess come up with. I got a whole dictionary what she say over here.
Oh Lord.
hmm So then, like I was saying though, we have to take a page out of their book. How do we do a cause and effect? The people. A lot of times we go on these strikes, right? These strikes can actually, when we want. But the problem is, it's hard to unify. But see, these people are unified, because they understand they all stand to gain for something.
Right.
We understand that we can stand to gain too. If we take one day off and don't go to the gas pumps, nobody does. You know how many billions of dollars they lose, just by doing that. We tried to do that at one time. Nobody would unify. Right now, there's a September 1st call for everybody to stay home, don't go to work. We didn't done this before. I know it ain't gonna work, but we didn't try to do this before, and it has not worked before. Go ahead, beloved.
I would love to be a part of that, but I'm a nurse.
I know.
Who gonna take care of these people?
I know. Maybe
You know,
maybe not the essentials.
I don't know if I have a solution. Maybe everybody should go to HR tomorrow. File exempt on their federal and state taxes.
Let me
that
get
would
my
be-
sage and burn it. Hold on, let me start burning
I
my.
was gonna say, even if you did that for a day and changed it back, and
Mhm.
if everybody did it for a day and changed it back, or whatever pay period, do you know how much money they would lose? They can't tax us if we exempt for whatever time period that you are exempt. They
And
can't
by
tax.
law, they have to do it. That everybody can do that without missing a day of work and still get their money and actually make more
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, even if you
Like
did
I'm
it
just
for a
saying.
week or for one pay period,
Mhm.
if you worried about paying on the back end or whatever, what have you, how much would you really be paying on that back end if you did it for if everybody did it for 2 weeks? They'd be sick. You
Everybody.
hear me?
Think about
Sick.
where that money goes. Think about where that money goes.
Hmm.
Them checks wouldn't be rolling in. They'd be like, that's a decline that nobody's paying. Nobody.
Yeah, but y'all have to realize y'all dealing with some very clever and patient people.
So we
Man,
put it
right.
all
So clever and patient to where they know how to make their generations, whoever comes after them, they bring them into the game. They plan for the future. You understand?
playing for right
They play
now.
the long game. Yes, we playing for right now, and that's the problem.
that made me think about a video that I've seen of the CEO, and I'm going to say it, and then we're going to stop talking about it because that's some real deep shit right there. The CEO of BlackRock, he say he invests in influencing the behaviors of people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They
yeah,
all do
yeah.
that.
They
He ain't by
own
himself.
88%
Mm-hmm.
of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
88%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we like certain music that we don't like, that some of us we don't like. But think
Yeah.
about the norm, the last few, and I don't want to say nothing because then all of a sudden there'd be people that you talking about this person that. But think about some of the music that are supposed to be our greats. I don't like that. I hear it and then I hear it 15 more times in the same day. I don't like that stuff, and I'm like, and then I find myself singing the song, and I'm like, what the hell am I singing? I don't even like, because you done heard it 15 times in one day, and then you
It
got
gets caught up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then the week you got 15 times times 7. Then you
Yes.
keep going and like, why do I keep saying I know the words to the song and I don't even like it?
It does not require your conscious attention. That's
Right.
all
does not.
subconscious and subliminal.
Meek
You know,
Mills said
The
they
key
paid
word
them
is
more.
sub.
Meek Mills said
Yep.
they paid them more to rap like that. He said,
Mhm.
I believe that.
He said, this is why I like to do in-person conversation, because on the music side, they pay us more to talk about that'll put you in jail.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Sure.
wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
It
if you
feeds
think
all these
about
other
it,
institutions.
that's a lot of money. That's a big money making game.
I
Before
want you to
Yep.
go ahead.
I want you to think about how many people like okay, so when we start talking about mass media, like marketing, all that kind of stuff, there is so much there is so much
Sublimation.
sublimation. Thank you. That's what I
Yes.
was trying to say. There's so much
Was you get that
sublimation
when you said
that
that?
is like, that is like involved in what it is that people are trying because they're trying to make money off of you. And there's also, I definitely do believe that there are other agendas that are pushed within mass marketing and mass media and so. I mean, I used to work in it. You know what I'm saying? So I know that there's definitely some. Oh, we don't want to talk about this. We don't want to talk about that. There's subtle. There are things that they want you to be able to subscribe to. Anything outside of that, any radical or free thinking, that stuff that's like, oh no, we can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we can't have radical and free thinking. Yeah. I mean, because they're like, we want you to stay contained. We want you to, we want you to follow the status quo. So yeah,
but there's no such thing as marketing without that sublimation. It is all about enticing. It is all about influencing. That's what marketing is. I mean, we just got to get but the thing is to keep your head on the swivel. So you got to make sure that if you're falling for something, make sure it's something you choosing to fall for, rather than something that's that's got you. So because I can tell you, as a business owner myself, I put my stuff out there and I hope whoever needs it gets it. It ain't working like that. I'm be honest with you. It ain't working. So you got to find some way to get to them emotionally, to get to them, exploit some of their needs, just like how the pharmaceutical companies do. They come up with say, well, if you're coughing and you have a rough feel in your throat, then you got ectopitis.
Right.
Come and get this medicine that'll fix it.
They got.
They be coming up with stuff. You got bedazzlation.
They got. And how can I get that? How can I get the bedazzlation medication that they got?
I love that.
You got the bedazzled. Oh God, I got the bedazzlation.
You've been bedazzled.
Oh Lord. That's how
I love it.
a minute. Hold on. Speaking of medication, this made me think about the series that I just finished watching on Netflix, Painkillers. Has
Oh,
anybody-
man. Please.
I haven't seen it, but I got it on my watch list. I haven't seen it though.
Man, the story of OxyContin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that drug is still on the market.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it is.
by me working in the pharmacy, I watched it go from people getting 560 tablets all the way down to now maybe you can only get 90 because they was giving it out so
Look, I'm like, you can still get 90?
Right.
Yeah.
Because
you can still get it,
Wow.
but you gotta go through pain management and
Yeah,
so
you
on and
gotta
so
go through
forth.
pain.
Used to be you could just go to the doctor. When I was in Florida, they had what we call candy shops. You pay $350 and you get five
I
different
heard of
medications. You go
and
get
they don't do
Soma,
nothing but just give you meds. That's
oxycodone,
it.
hydrocodone, alprazolam, which is Xanax.
That's it.
And there's one other thing that you're gonna get, but you're gonna get all 5 of those medications just by paying cash. And they've cut that out, but used to be offices set up everywhere, and they might stay there 6-7 months, go to a different state,
I
or
heard
go
about
to a
that.
different location because they keep moving
Yep.
around to keep the DEA off of them. That's why they started
So-
holding the manufacturers responsible. Because now we
Sounds
got to
like
get
drug
you 'cause you
dealing.
giving out too much. Exactly.
It is
exactly.
drug
You set
dealing.
up on a different corner whenever that
I
corner
said
gets
this
hot.
months
You set up
ago.
on another corner.
The drug dealers they ain't on the corners no more, baby.
No, heck
Mm-mm.
no. They sitting behind the
Mm-mm.
desk.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, the ones that are making the most money
Yeah.
are the ones who are sitting behind the desk.
Yes.
Because they were like, we got to find this. We got to find a way how to give this to them when it's regulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
they, but that's why you're starting to see more CEOs. They charging them with those drug trafficking charges because you pushing it to make money. And the thing is, you hurting a lot of people. But my thing is, who regulates it?
Mm.
The same people that regulate it. Now all of a sudden you want to clean it up, but you let it go for so long. I've been working in the pharmacy 19 years. And I'm just talking about a short amount of time. I'm not talking about 40, 50 years because it was going on way before I even got in pharmacy.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So who you guys allow this mess to go on, and now you want to clean it up and start blaming people. But what about pointing the finger? You know what they say, you point one finger at somebody, you got 5
Three back at you.
Pointing back at 3
Yeah.
back at you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got you, girl. I was there. I got you.
I know because I was bedazzled there for a second.
But there you go. I
Listen.
heard they got medication for that.
I know. I went
For
to
your
the bedazzled doctor.
bedazzledation.
Yeah, I went to the bedazzled doctor.
Right. Go to your
He was
bedazzled
on
doctor.
bedazzled last week.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm loving that.
Oh my
Check
gosh.
that out when you get a chance. That Painkiller about the story
Yeah.
of OxyContin. That ain't no joke.
I got that.
Yeah,
Got that
'cause
on
I'm
my
sure
watch
that's
list. I'm gonna
interesting.
check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that too.
It's a they put it all in our face though. They
Yeah,
put
but they understand. You know, they say that the masses are just dumb.
Yeah.
They can put stuff. They can tell you exactly what they're gonna do to you, which they have done, and you
Right.
can sit there and let them do it to you.
Yeah.
You know,
And be like,
That is-
thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Until 20 years on down the line, you realize what's been done to you, and you like, oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and it kills me
That's
when
facts.
somebody, well, you gotta die somehow. We just gotta, well, you just gotta, just kind of go with it. I'm like, come
Yeah,
on, man,
they
don't
go,
do that. That's
YOLO,
that's
you
not
only
helping
live
out.
once. That YOLO, you only live once.
Which is
I
not
want to
true.
die in natural
Number
causes.
one.
That's what I want to die of. I don't need all that.
That
I don't want to be in
part.
pain and none of that stuff.
Mhm.
So whatever I die from, it ain't got to be fun.
I'm saying,
let
let
me-
my telomeres run out. I don't want to let
Let
my
me-
telomeres just say you done ran out of DNA juice.
Did he just say I ran out of DNA? Is that like
That's
Tim
it.
Juice? Is that no? Not close. Not at all.
Got his own dictionary up there.
DNA juice lasts for 120 years. Just let me run out of DNA juice. That's it.
Let my telomeres run out.
That's right.
Let them run out. I heard that. That's actually that's a
ball
show
out
right
me.
there, talking about big pharma. Oh,
Like
ooh,
I realized a long time ago as a nurse that I was nothing but a drug pusher.
girl,
Yeah.
listen.
Licensed
And
by
My-
anything in healthcare, that's exactly what you are.
that's it. You know, give them a whole a whole cup of pills.
Mhm.
This pill is
Never,
for this.
never nothing to solve it, just to maintain it. We just want
That's
to
the
maintain your
main.
blood
That's
pressure
Oh,
it.
that's all
at
it
the
ever
regular
does.
levels.
That's all
We don't
it
want to
does.
fix you so your body can regulate the blood
Mm-mm.
pressure. We want to give you something
Mhm.
just to make it's getting high again. Well, let's up that dose because we got to keep it at a certain level.
It's
Man,
about
come on,
It's
bro.
about treatment, not cures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Man,
It's about treatments.
they ain't not
and
gonna
Mhm.
treatment
hear
is
nothing.
expensive.
man,
You know, so
that is. That
So
is
what's
so
the
crazy. And that
solution?
is so
What
true.
it- yeah.
I'm sorry, half the pills I was giving out, I had to give another pill that for the side effects of the first set
Mhm.
of pills caused.
That part. That part,
This is
man.
Well, here you take this pain medicine 3 times a day. The side effect
But it's
behind that is
it's gonna affect your
constipation.
liver.
It's a,
Right.
it's a
It's gonna
bleeding
affect your
spleen.
liver.
Now to help you go. Now you're
Or
going
you're
too
gonna be on
much. Now I
dialysis.
got to
Right.
give you some Imodium to stop you from going too much. It's like a never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, I
Mhm.
try not to get into
Everybody,
too
what's up,
many
baby?
like. Now, I was just gonna say, I was like, I try not to get into too many like conspiracy theories, right? I try to let them be. However, with Dr. Sebi, I believe that Dr. Sebi was doing some really, really good stuff, and he got silenced. That's just my own personal opinion,
Yeah.
because I was like, for anything like the whole entire like the idea of alkaline and hold on, what's the opposite of alkaline? Help me out.
Acidic.
Acidic.
Thank you. And
Come on,
acidic
man.
foods. Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, we got
He
Doctor
got you.
Saabadi Ahmad, brother Etepu. He chew some tomatoes and bedafidations. Yeah, I forgot. He take care of all of that.
I'm just tired of this woman. I'm tired of her.
Ah! I told y'all know what's gonna come out my mouth, man.
It's okay. Keep going. Keep
I love
going.
her.
We're going where the conversation takes us. If anybody has anything they
Absolutely.
want to share with us this evening, the phone number is posted 832-479-4799-035.
John Gotti.
Stop them. There's too much.
Too much money pharmaceutical companies would be losing. You better say
Over
something,
that,
John
yeah.
Gotti.
Yeah.
You better
That's it.
say
That's
something.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't just him. That's why they, you know, you understand they killed a lot of holistic
Yeah.
herbalists, you
Or
know,
threaten
herbal
them.
doctors. Yeah.
Right.
I can believe
Threaten
it,
them.
man.
Yeah. All
He
across.
wasn't much of
a lot
a
of them in
threat.
Florida. Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. He wasn't much of a threat until the internet came, though. If you think about it, because
That's
he
true.
wasn't. I know he had because I've read up on him. I know he had went against the Supreme Court in New York because they were saying that he was practicing medicine and he shouldn't have been. He won that case because he was like, I'm not practicing. I'm telling people to change their diet. I'm not saying I'm curing anything. So
But he
He has
did prove that he
problems.
cured some too.
yeah,
He did.
yeah.
Man, because
Oh,
But
wow.
he
food is
wasn't
medicine, bro.
advertising. He wasn't advertising as a doctor to cure. He was advertising, look, if you eat these different foods and change your diet. So somehow he won that because he wasn't saying that he wasn't practicing medicine.
Mm.
So they were on him then. But think about when the internet came. I've seen him on the Breakfast Club. I've seen him on different things. You know, when he started really being able to get that message out there to the masses, they like, nah, we can't. It was all right when it was just the newspaper. It was all right when it was a few magazines that was the essence and the vibe and the so and so's when they was just talking about you in a little article. But now you got he got a website
Mhm.
where you can buy his products and stuff. So he was getting to the masses. They had to do
And they got
something.
They got a couple more of them they got these. Hold on, wait. Dr. Sebi, he was also in St. Lucia, correct? Or no.
He
Wait a
was
second. Where's Dr.
Honduras. I think he lived in Honduras.
He was Honduras.
so they got it.
That's where he.
So they've got some natural healers that are out in St. Lucia. Let me find this article
Yeah.
before I don't want to tell nobody anything bad, but
I
Oh, they
think
got
They've
some
got
all
some-
over.
King
In the
Newborn, you was
Amazon
talking about
jungle.
one.
Yeah.
What's his name? Yaki.
Yeah, sure.
You were talking about about him a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about him.
Yep.
King Newborn was Yaki. He's out of
Yaki
St. Louis.
Awaken.
Yes, yes. And I've been following him. And
Mm-hmm.
he's got the same messages.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's no doubt. Like, you understand, like, to get this understanding about, well, the shamans those are the medical practitioners. Those are and they don't just deal with the herbs, but they deal with the whole energy in the body, in order to cure the person, So then, but that's a tradition that's passed down. You don't go to school to be a shaman. That's a tradition, And then, so when it comes to dealing with, herbs and botanicals and things like that, then you have to know about plant. You have to know about the human body, not just from a physical standpoint, but from an energetic standpoint. So, but understand that these practices have been in play for thousands of years. Only recently how the pharmaceutical thing came up, starting with J. Rockefeller himself, right? So he went in order to find something else to do with the oil that they had. He said, we need another product that's going to sell. They came up with pharmaceuticals and start campaigning against these herbal and natural remedies, cures, because it made people feel good, because it was only dealing with the symptoms, not the disease itself. So people were feeling better and they thought it was working, but they didn't realize you're going to have to be on it for the rest of your life. You can't get rid of it.
We were looking at the other day, me and God Level, we about to go to the Bells.
Yes.
So we were looking at the Bells. And I don't know, don't ask me how we got. She said don't ask no questions, but we ended up looking up these bells. And there was like thousands of bells that the Nazis had stolen. And particularly they wanted the ones before the 1740s, because they found out that they were healing. Because we both started asking, when the last time you heard a bell? You don't hear the bell in school. You guys will have to look it up. You don't hear school bells. I was like, what about the Liberty Bell?
Healing?
Frequency.
They were used for healing. The frequency for healing.
Oh, different somatic. Okay, different from like somatic audio tones.
There you go. Frequency.
Okay, different. Okay, yeah.
Huge bells.
So now they're all. If you look all over the world, where like, because I even asked, I was like, I want to do the Vatican still have the bells, because I know y'all, we all in the same age group that we kind of remember the bells ringing. We have a Catholic church about 30 miles from here, and I remember hearing those bells. You don't hear the bells anymore, and that was because it was supposed to be a healing, some type of healing effect to the body. And they specifically wanted the ones before 1740 because they had a certain frequency or a certain tone.
Yep.
They were also made of a certain combination of metals. Yeah, they gave out that sound as well.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
it's very, very interesting. We went on and on. I was like, how did we get to this down this rabbit hole? We talking about bells.
As we said, it's gonna go, right? We said it's gonna go where it takes us.
we just go where it takes us. That's it. That's it. I still don't remember how we got started on the bells, but we just started doing.
But we went to Amazon.com and got us a bell.
Yes,
you done bought you a 1740 bell.
I know. I was like, what is the 1740? Because I want the original bell now, but we couldn't find none of the.
Look, Aaron, don't let me see you at the Vatican standing in the bell tower trying to steal a bell.
No, now they don't. Girl, I'm just up there getting a little piece. I just take this little piece and make my own bell.
I'll be back. Look, I'll be back with it. I promise. I'll be back with it. Y'all just go ahead. Somebody pray.
I'll be back. Something else? There's a McDonald's on the Vatican property. We went from bells to finding out there's a McDonald's on the property.
Can I tell you why?
Wow.
Why there's a McDonald's on a? Okay, so
yes, please.
I'm gonna have to find this recording. So understand that I am quoting what I heard someone say, who's actually understand not only that, but he's part of the business of the Vatican. But he said this on a radio show, so it must be safe to say. But he said that in the Vatican, during their synagogues, they have children that's in the basement underneath where they have in their celebration, that they're actually sacrificing. Okay, that they're killing. And he was asked by the host, he said, well, what do you do with the bodies? He said, well, what do you mean? It's everybody knows that we it's meat, and we end up selling off the meat. He said, like to who? He said, well, everybody knows that our biggest customer is McDonald's. That's one of our biggest customers.
That's why
You remember there was controversy. There was controversy about human meat being in McDonald's, and they found that it was. And people were still going by. Why do you think McDonald's have they have an all beef patty, U.S. beef patty, versus their regular ones? Their regular ones ain't beef. Y'all better understand. This is why I don't eat at McDonald's. You're eating sacrificial meat. I can tell you when I did, every time right after I ate there, I instantly got sick. My energy went down and everything. So this is why they have a McDonald's on the Vatican. Yep.
I gotta go to Sir Google on that one.
Go ahead.
Go for it. Look it up. Look it up.
Yeah, because we went from the Bells, and I said, "Girl, it's a McDonald's." Now I'm like, no wonder I don't eat that stuff. I was outdone. Like, what? Help me.
Yeah.
Saba
No,
Diallo,
you don't want to mess with that. Yes, ma'am.
Did they say something to the effect that they have America eating their babies?
Now that one I haven't heard.
That's the one I heard. So to hear you say it again, America eats his babies.
Yeah, because since then it's been out even more. It's been out even more. But this guy was speaking as a matter of factly, saying that y'all don't know that we sell this to McDonald's, that y'all eating human meat. That's the Vatican synagogue sacrificial meat y'all eating. And they got these kids. They ain't like kidnapping. These kids are actually volunteering to be sacrificed because they think they're actually giving up their souls for the greater good, for God.
Right.
Yeah,
I can see that. I could definitely see that being trained in them and brought up in them, just like they do in other countries, for them to be.
This is what I was born for.
Yeah. I could definitely.
But I can tell you this, being a spiritualist myself, anytime you're dealing with blood sacrifices, you're dealing with dark forces. Any light divine forces does not require blood sacrifices. Okay, and that I know. Okay, so I'm just saying, there's your Vatican. There's your Vatican.
I'm looking at.
Go ahead.
I actually found the article, right? But I don't believe the source. You know me, I'm skeptical with my sources.
Okay.
I used to work in the media. So I'm just going to say that I found it, and I don't know if you guys look at me, but my eyes got like this big, and I was like, wait a second. I was like, this is not really reputable.
Well, look for another one.
I'm gonna look for another one though. Look, I'm gonna sit over here and fact check
article
me and my
say?
hamsters. We good.
Yeah, you might want to.
Yeah. The headline says, "Wow, Rabbi confirms to pastor that sacrificed babies are put into food at McDonald's and matzo balls." And I'm like, I'm gonna watch the video. I'll get back to you. You guys discuss amongst yourselves.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right, go for it. Yeah, I'm just saying it's out there. You all you got to do is go and look. And that's if you're looking for something else.
Since June 30th.
Yeah, I'm just amazed that they got a McDonald's on the property. Period. Because that's supposed to be like holy land, ain't it?
Say it again.
I said, isn't that supposed to be like holy land? That's why I'm just shocked that they got the McDonald's on the property at all.
No, that's not holy land. That's that what they've done was use a bunch of symbols and geometric constructs to increase the energy, the divine energy there. And remember, divine, and in case y'all don't know, divine energy is not always light. Darkness is divine as well. Okay, so it's a spiritual energy that you can delve in, dark or light. So just understand that. But they have what you find on the vacuum. You find the tekin, which is what they call the obelisk, right? That's the Greek term for it. But that right there is that the one that they have in the Vatican was stolen out of Kemet, right from there, and we know that to be like the phallus of Ilsir, or Osiris, as some people know him. That's the phallus of Ilsir, which means birth and regeneration. It's a very, very powerful symbol, and so you will find it all around Kemet, all around Egypt, and also in other places where these things, you find that also in our own Washington, D.C. The Washington Monument is a tekin, you know, and look at the layout, the whole layout. You're inside of a geometric construct.
Wow.
When you're standing on that, you're standing inside of a geometric construct. So just understand that it's a lot of forces that's being used that escapes the mundane mind. It's a lot of that going on, you know, which again, we would have to go into a deep class in deep science in order to explain it. But just don't take my word for it. Just try to do some research on yourself. And you'll see what I mean. And that's the solution, is do your own research. That's the solution.
So just sticking a pin in all of that, right?
Mhm.
Because I was reading, I'm just like,
Elaine,
okay, yeah. But I do want to ask, how is your journey going without eating meat? How is that going?
I just posted a TikTok on one particular area, and excuse me, fellas, if you want to turn it off at this point, because I'm getting ready to talk about womanly things that I've noticed that has changed within me.
Oh my God.
Speak on it.
They need to know too, because maybe they can tell somebody.
Right.
I know they don't.
No,
Oh
you-
my God.
My lady friend who comes and visits once a month, she usually stays around for 7 days. She only stayed around for 3.
Mm.
The flow was significantly less. Okay.
Oh,
The
wow.
pain, there was not a whole lot of cramping. My energy level went through the roof. I'm used to being in bed, hurting, mad, emotional, irritated, eating sweets, ordering in, not wanting to be bothered. That was the day I did 2 hours at the gym. And I was like, wow. I don't look at meat the same. It scares me because I don't want to go back to it. It scares me. And then to know that the chicken is lab created. Watching videos of the steak that was bought at Walmart, how he picked it up and it was just falling apart. That shit is not real. And I don't want it in my system. I don't want it in my system at all. I sleep better. I don't have a whole lot of aches and pains. My left ankle used to give me problems every time I would get up and step on it. It felt like my leg about to give out. I don't feel that anymore. Clearer thoughts. My skin is clearing up. And it's a difference. I posted that video on my lady friend on TikTok and got like 65,000 views.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
65,000 views. Pay attention to your lady friend. And a lot of people didn't even know that was one of the reasons why it had decreased when they took meat out of their diet.
Mm-hmm.
What are you eating for a protein supplement? I do a lot of peanuts. I know Saba said be careful. you know, Saba said be careful with those peanuts, you know, but
Tell me
yeah.
to be careful with pistachios too.
Yeah.
I love pistachios. Like I got
I
some
do
right now
too.
that's sitting here looking at me.
I actually said as of tomorrow, because my body is trying to hold on to the weight instead of allowing and letting it go, that I was going to have to replace a meal with juicing.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
one meal a day. I don't have to do it, all day, but just one meal a day. Substitute that with a juice, and I got some cantaloupe in there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do that juicing, your melons, do those in the morning because your honeydew melon is considered a natural diuretic. That is not something you want to drink before going to bed. I've learned that from experience.
It's like I know something.
Good book to
And
read.
King,
Sacred Woman. I have that. Yeah.
King, that book you're recommending right there, I know the author personally, Queen Afua,
Ooh.
Sacred Woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
My
Nice.
queen was taken through her program, as well as a lot of other people. But I used to hold hand with her every Sunday at my spiritual center.
Wow.
But the thing about it is, even better than reading the book is going through the actual program, the Sacred Woman program. So I highly recommend it. Erica Badu is a sacred woman. We got so many celebrities also, but it's the real deal. It ain't just hyped up. So Queen Afua.
I just want to point out the reason why I put them up there. Thank you for that, Saba. The reason why I put them up there because they are good books for men to read, so that you know what you're dealing with within your own relationships with women.
Oh yeah. She also have one called Sacred Men. There's a Sacred Men book too. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Absolutely.
say I can. What God level is saying is it's was more red meat. I eat chicken and fish. I don't eat red meat and haven't eaten it for about 5 years. But what she's saying about that cycle, it is definitely a game changer. And I would suggest anybody that have fibroids or any type of things like that. And I'm not a medical professional. I'm just telling you about my personal experience that about 6 months in, I wasn't dreading it. I was like, okay, 3 days I'll be off this, no big deal. So I would suggest to anybody, and I don't know if you want to go all the way off meat totally, but I just know that the red meat, I don't know what it was, but it just did something to me physically. My hormones were all jacked up, and I'm gonna notice a difference in my mood, a big difference in my mood.
Yeah.
And that's the
Food is
point.
medicine.
Yeah. So let me clear something up though. Let me clear something up about that if y'all don't mind. Before the end of World War II, there was no problem eating meat, even with women. Before then, before the food started being tainted. I'm saying this to where, do y'all think it's actually the meat, or is it something has been done to the meat? And if so, then what do you think it is?
Well, we know they're coloring it red to make it look more fresh in the grocery stores.
Yeah. Well, they're doing their carbon dioxide to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the hormones is while the animal is still alive, right? So they're doping it up with hormones,
The
and
mass production.
yeah,
They
and
did,
there was a time when dairy milk was very high in antioxidants and things like that. So it really was good for you at one time.
Right.
But now that it's not so much so, because it's full of hormones, but also the reason why it's full of a lot of pus is because of the forced breeding of the cows. Cows can only produce milk when they get pregnant. They're lactating.
Right.
Do you understand? So in order to keep these dairy cows to keep on giving milk, they have to force them to be pregnant, to get pregnant. So they do this over, which makes it very unhealthy. They would shoot them up with steroids so they can sustain the process, and eventually they'll do away with them when their body just wears out. So it's these inhumane practices that we cannot support, because that you just don't want that type of animal, because even the other hormones like cortisol and things like that, and adrenaline and stuff that's building up in the blood from its own endocrine system, you're also eating that because that gets saturated in the meat on top of the hormones that they're doping them up with. So this is part of your problem, all the antibiotics and stuff like that too. I'm sorry, what?
What is the name of that? Because I've heard of that a lot of people that don't eat meat because of the way that it's being killed, because I guess
Oh,
if
like
the
the inhumane practices. I watched the show on
yeah,
that.
so the hormones come out in the meat, and then therefore affects us. And I know there's a name for. Why am I asking? I got a Google right here, but
Sir Google. Girl, I
Right.
love Sir Google.
but there's a name for it that and it's not like mad cow, but it has something to do with like a. Okay, hold on.
It's basically just like when you're raising when you're raising meat in cruelty environments. I mean, they kind of go through their own process of almost like our generational trauma and how it's been passed down. They go through their. I hate to be like this and it sounds funny, but chicken trauma, like for real.
That's real.
So-
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
That's for real.
I'm gonna answer this question real quick. What type of exercise have you participated in along your journey? Walking. I want to ease into this. I don't want this to be something where I just got to ease into it. One healthy thing at a time. Not eating chicken, lemon pepper chicken.
Right.
My name Rick Ross' sister. You know? But when I look at it now, I just be like, I can't. I tried it and I couldn't swallow it, and I just spit it out. Like even with the pork, it didn't feel right. Lots of water. I try to drink more water than anything. Thank you. How much water do you intake? I increased my water more so than I did prior to me stop eating the meat. Like you can tell a big difference even with your bowels.
I love how you cover your mouth after you say it like.
I'm serious. It just flows.
It's like everything changes.
Everything, your body changes. Oh, I sleep.
So
better.
I think
better at night.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
He's throwing questions at me. I love it. How you?
No, I'm here for it. Yeah.
Sleep better at night. Man. Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know, like the last time that we had talked, me, I always talk about my hamsters, but like that helps me, like seriously, like my diet. Because if I was to eat something crazy, like I didn't realize how bad my hamsters were before I stopped eating a bunch of processed, like when I stopped eating processed sugar. Like processed sugar, oh my gosh. And not even so much as just processed sugar, but sugar itself, like even like fruits with a lot of natural sugar, like limiting those and then upping my water intake and then just like providing those supplements and vitamins and stuff that my brain is missing. Like food is medicine, bro. Food is medicine. It really is.
Medicine.
You actually what?
He said, do you dream more vividly? Hell yeah, I actually do.
I know I do. And I can remember them the next morning.
And I'll be like, this color looks a little different than the color in my dream. I actually do. The blue is so blue.
Lucidly too, because
oh my God,
you get to feeling like you pull into them. Yes.
Because your mind is more clear.
Oh shit! I got a 6-9 book coming.
You better get it, girl.
So Ivy, and this is just a question with the hamsters. Do you take anything?
I take a lot. I'm just kidding. No, for real. I don't take a lot, but I do take supplements. I take supplements, and I am actually medicated. When we did the show for ADHD like a few months ago, like I talked a lot about it. Like for myself, like I take zinc and magnesium every day. Definitely. I also take a probiotic. And for my kid, because I don't want my youngest to be medicated so early, she takes L-tyrosine. and L-theanine, and they're both
I got
two.
I got some
Oh,
of that here. I just got it because I'm asking. I'm like 2 months off of my antidepressants. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I keep
hmm
saying I'm introducing myself to myself. I stopped smoking. I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. I don't do anything anymore. Yeah, chemically free, and the diet change has helped. But I was just trying to figure out like what were you doing because it seems since I'm getting spiritually aligned, it's not as hard.
yeah,
But it be
yeah,
some
yeah.
days I'll be looking
That's
like I
important.
snatch everybody through the whatever I can
And
snatch them through, they gonna get snatched. And then,
that's where
but
the
then I go
spirituality
back.
comes in. Yep.
Yeah, and then I'm able to bring that down. But that's why I was
People
asking, were
like,
like you just using herbal things, or were you taking any pharmaceuticals?
I also take
Mm.
pharmaceuticals, yes, because so there's also something else I don't know if I talked to you guys about it, but I also have I have issues with my parathyroids. So
Hmm.
so I take pharmaceuticals to help me because the parathyroidism, it also exacerbates my ADHD. But I also take supplements, and I eat a pretty, I won't say a completely clean diet, but I eat a pretty like non stepped on diet. Like I worked with a nutritionist and a trainer who told me eat God's food, right? I learned that
Yes.
last year, and it changed
Yeah.
my life. Like I'm not even
Hmm.
kidding. It changed like the brain fog that I did have. It changed so much.
Yeah,
Like I was
yeah,
finally able to like, put together a thought, and I was able to be a more authentic me. Like she said, if she was like, if Adam and Eve don't recognize what's on your plate, you probably don't need to be eating it. So like that's like I try to follow by that. And Brother Diamond be getting on me with my pistachios, but I'm like, bruh, Adam and Eve know what a pistachio is. You know what I'm saying?
Man, these
So
peanuts, baby, is a lifesaver.
man, listen, that's facts, bro. That
Um,
is facts. And I try not to eat too much. I don't eat sugar. I don't do sugar, and I don't
yeah,
do like
yeah.
a whole bunch of. Go ahead, girl. I'm sorry. You know me.
no, he's just throwing questions out at me. How's your energy level now versus before?
Yeah.
Up,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely up. Yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
drag. Do I
You
meditate
get out
more?
of, you can wake up and get out of bed.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, to a calming. I try to stay calm at all times. I've been meditating at night before going to sleep and listening to. I have this thing now. I need to hear the rain.
See, you get it. You get it. I don't know why people think I'm crazy because I love the rain.
I,
I love the rain.
dude, when it rains and I'm here and I'm by myself, I go
Hmm.
out and dance in the rain.
Okay, now that's going too far.
I no, no, no,
I do
and
too.
I'm just out there
It's
and I'm getting.
spring. You feel
Now
like a kid.
One
you
day I
can't
had
give
to
it to
come
them
back
and take it
in
away.
because I didn't want nobody thinking, is she crazy? You know,
Mm.
out there in the rain, and I'll just stand there barefooted in the grass, and I'll just visualize all the negativity being washed out of me, on me. Pretend that the rain is giving me positive energy while washing away the negative. Yeah, I do that. I said
Why I
one day
won't move from.
I'm
Why I
gonna
won't move
sit.
from up here. I
Yeah,
love it.
I love it, and to hear the rain, it's going to sleep.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
I'm
Just
pretty sure
saying.
it'd be some logs sawed in that room
Oh,
if you
baby.
sleeping
Listen,
that good.
Yes.
bruh.
Well, it's
Wake up,
benefits
the
to being
paint be
by
off the
yourself
wall.
because you got that whole. I got a king size, you know.
Oh, that's some
I
good
be
sleep to
on
rain,
one
bro.
side of the bed when I go to sleep. I wake up, ain't no telling where I'm gonna be at in the bed, and I love that. You guys spoke briefly about Africa. What's the word on Africa? Ooh, Niger. That I cannot think of the president of Niger's. I can't pronounce it. Oh my
Let's consult Sir Google, shall
God.
we?
Please, Sir Google.
Sir Google.
How do you pronounce the president of Niger? They did a coup over there, and the one thing that I'm seeing about Africa is that they are coming together.
And showing out and showing us what to be doing, what we need to be doing. Giving an example of what needs to be done.
Even over here, yeah.
Mohammed Bazoum.
Mohammed Bazoum. Is there? You got a picture of him? He's 34 years old. He looks like he's about 6'2", 6'3", about 230 pounds. He's solid. No, that's the one they overthrew.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no,
that's the one they overthrew. I'm looking for the man with the 2 scores right here.
Wait a second.
Yeah, that's the man they overthrew. He was put.
Oh, woo! Ooh, his name. Good.
Let me go look.
Abdur Hamani. It looks like, Abdur Hamani.
Yep.
Oh my God, yeah, it is. Oh my
Shiny.
God. I had it.
Because the T is silent.
It's public now. I am so sorry.
What happened?
Yep.
What happened?
Got it. It's posted. Go ahead. I forgot to change the privacy setting on my Facebook page for the show tonight.
Oh,
I know.
oh no.
I was wondering why we wasn't getting no.
But that was just on my
Come
page.
on.
But we're still on. No, it's up in the corner where you can see people come in and out.
Oh, I'm looking at mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you recommend to you? Yeah. Why wouldn't we? We have a lot of distractions over here, though, that's keeping us from unifying. We really do. We are like literally fighting amongst ourselves right now. The music is shitty. The food is shitty. The people are acting shitty. But can it happen? Yeah, the Alabama Slammer showed us that it can happen. I didn't even say it like that.
Listen, hold on, wait. Time out. Because I did not know about what happened in Alabama until the week after. Right? Because I was on vacation. I was gone.
2 hours before the incident, a group of women came to the river. What did they do?
They were doing some ancestry herbal, I don't know, but they were calling the ancestors, and that's what they did.
Yes. 2 hours prior to the incident. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow.
We make the changes and adjustments. It starts with self first. We can't work outside of our community until we work on us first.
Exactly.
Then we can proceed forward. And then you like minds attract. Here we are.
Yeah, we try to find so much from the outside because we're so dependent on so many things, and we try to use so much from the outside to fix the problems, and we don't even realize, and that's individually and as a people, we don't even realize it starts at home. You fix you. Fix what's in you. Love you for everything that you are, all your flaws, everything, and then love somebody else and let them love themselves, and then we can work. But we'll never be able to work it out if we constantly got our hand out asking, what can we do? It just seems, and it's not all of us, but it just seems like sometimes folks act like it's too hard, and it's not. Loving yourself is not that hard.
A lot of us has not been taught to love ourselves. We don't even know what that looks like. We don't even know how to begin or where to even start due to all the trauma that we went through as children. We have built up walls over the years, and we continue to move forward. Me, for example, I take a hit and keep on going, not knowing that one day all that shit that I was running from, that was still chasing behind me, was going to eventually catch up with me. Boom! Knock me the fuck down. Now I'm surrounded by all this shit, and I got to deal with it.
And you got nowhere to run to.
And I ain't got nowhere to run to.
Listen,
I will
you got nobody. Go ahead, girl.
These men have seen me at my lowest. I love y'all. And they have not ran. Thank you for loving me. I appreciate you all.
That's what love's all about.
Yeah. And I have my moments because when my ego, like Ivy was telling me, when your ego kicks in, it's and it does. That black
That's
shadow
it.
will swoop in, and then I'll shut down. But then for what? I have learned so much about myself doing this podcast, doing this with these gentlemen. Yeah, I have. I actually have. Yeah. I'm a long way from where I used to be when I first started this. Long way.
Mhm.
I got so much more to go, and I'm just falling in love with the journey. You got to fall in love with that journey. You got to love
That's a
every.
re- I think it's about respecting the journey. Sometimes we don't respect the journey. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
right.
Like we'll just be like, oh, I went through some shit and yeah, it's fine and it's okay. But we really don't realize that there's a lot of adversity. Like once you finally start to go into that self-help thing, like there's a lot of adversity that you have overcome and we don't respect it. We just kind of want to poo-poo it off and just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I did that and we want to move on, not realizing that took work and respecting the fact that you actually made adjustments.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard for people to change. I love the fact that Skywalker always talks about consistency, about being consistent. And like when you talk about like our community and how we can come together, I think that we really need to talk about being respecting the ability to go through a journey, and sometimes being even able to respect somebody else's journey. And just being like, all right, not for me, but this is this. You went through that, you did that, and thank God you did, because that means that now you're on a better trajectory, and that means that you can see where I am coming from as a person. And I think that that's where a lot of our community fails. We're unlike Hawaii and unlike Africa. We're really not tied to this land. We are trying to like hang ourselves and pivot from. We're trying to pivot from each else, from everybody else as a people. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't have that. I feel like we don't have a true anchor. The only anchor that we have is our trauma and our adversity that's been here. So like Africa, they're connected to the land. This is my land. Hawaii, they will defend that shit to the end of them because it's where they are. Their ancestors, their royalty, their everything it came from. And I guess I just kind of feel like sometimes we just don't have an anchor because we want to love our country, but it's hard to love our country when our country don't love us back.
So
I feel I feel like sometimes that's kind of what we have to go through in order to come through that too. And then we have to find that place in ourselves that we have to come through that. Respect our own journeys and respect everybody else's in the meantime. That's it.
And I think the reason why we don't respect those journeys is because we have never been able to be a victim. I myself, the things that I have gone through in life, the reason why, like she was saying, just run, is because I don't want to identify myself as a victim. I feel like I'm a tough bee and I can handle whatever comes toward me, and I wish the MF would, so on and so forth, because I'm not a victim. But when you really break it down, you have to realize that you are a victim, and you have to identify as that and then get past that. You don't have to stay there, but you do have to identify that, yeah, you are a victim. And it's a hard thing for us to do because we have not been allowed to do that. You can't do that.
It's not so much to say that. I think it's not so much as saying that we're a victim, but recognizing that we're vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Recognizing that we have vulnerability. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And being able to say, this has happened, and now I need to lean into my vulnerability. And in order for me to get better, I have to take off that super cape that I've always had to have on for months. You know what I'm saying? For years and years. So I agree. I agree, Beryl. I agree.
If vulnerability makes you a victim, makes you a mark, makes you something, and you can be that. Because think about it. If anything happens to us, if anything happens to us, what do we say to each other? Well, that's your fault. You should have known. You don't do that. We never put it off on the circumstances or the person that brought it to the table. Well, you should have never did that in the first place. It's like, wait a minute. I didn't know that was going on. I thought people were just as genuine as I was. So they never allow us to have that vulnerability.
Girl, listen, I'm
Well,
gonna
you
be like,
know,
okay, maybe. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead, Deanna.
now I was going to say that we had a conversation about this, something like this morning in a book study that I have called My Aunt, the moral ideal in ancient Egypt. So we've been working on this book for a while, and there's a term that we came across called ignorance, and the context in which ignorance is talked about or defined in this particular text is when it's lack of knowledge of self. And what that leads to is an adherence to one's limitations. So when we're talking about being a victim, we're highlighting our limitations. When we talk about vulnerability, we are highlighting our limitations. Okay? We are not limited. See, we are unlimited beings. And when you know who you truly are, then those you understand that everything that happens in your life is to exalt you, is to elevate you, and you just have to know how to respond to it. And so when we're talking about self-love, how can you love anybody if you haven't learned to love yourself? Number one, but how can you love yourself if you haven't learned to know yourself? You have to know
That
who
part.
you are.
All right.
Period.
Yeah, all right.
So
I'm with you on
when
that.
that happens, yeah, so we're never victims. That is a perception that we may have. But you can either play victim or say, "Hey, this happened. All right, I'm better because of it," and move forward. You could do that. You don't have to sit there and and wallow in that, because that's where a lot of people sit, and a lot of times that's the beginning or it's the gateway to narcissism.
I
So
think when we say victim, it's not.
Ooh.
I don't think we want to sit and wallow in. I think we want to not ignore the fact that some things need to be dealt with.
well, some things do need to be dealt with, but you can deal with them without
I don't know
being
the word that we should be
victim.
saying. It's using instead of, maybe we should be using a different word than victim. I'm with you on vulnerable, but sometimes just walking away and just dusting yourself off is not the answer. But sometimes you got to
Oh no, no.
recognize how
I'm
you
not
got in
saying
that
I'm not
situation.
saying that. But what I'm saying is, I'm saying be careful of what you highlight along the way. If you identify, when I'm talking about overall is identity, to say that you're a victim is to identify with your limitation.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So even if you choose to do something about it, you're not a victim. Hey, this is the game. We tussle sometimes in life. And so, how are you going to respond? It's about who responds better. It's about who responds better. So that's what I mean by get up, dust yourself off, and do what you got to do.
I started
do what
to
you got to
heal.
do.
I started to heal when I started to do what one of my therapists told me. She was like, you have to get real comfortable with your demons before they bite you in the ass, right? And I never wanted to admit that I had this dark shadow side to me. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm always giddy, I'm always Ivy, I'm always chuckly, blah, 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 blah. Did not want to recognize that there was this whole entire other side that might not have necessarily been that bright. You know what I'm saying? And once I finally started to lean into that and be like, oh yeah, no, I definitely got my issues, but it's okay because I'm human and humans are allowed to make mistakes. And when we make mistakes, either we learn or we make them again. And then that's not a mistake anymore. It's a choice. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Oh, thank you very much. A victim, a person who was harmed, injured, or killed. Yeah. As a result of crime, accident, or another event or action. So that's saying that if we are making choices instead of mistakes, then that means that, what are we doing? Are we victimizing ourselves? Perhaps, but get real human with it and understand who you are and just be like, all right, that was a choice that I made and I don't think I like making these choices anymore. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So, that's when I started to heal. And I really think that a lot of people, their egos get in the way of them looking at the dark sides of them, because they don't want to take a look at those. They don't want to see them. They don't want to acknowledge that they are real parts of them, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's ugly.
yeah. That's, like I have friends who tell me all the time, oh, Ivy, you talk about mental health. You talk about, I'm not talking about that shit. No, that's fine. I will talk about it for you. I will talk about all of mine because I don't give a shit. I know I'm flawed, but I'm also pretty fucking awesome. So
That's
that's
right.
it.
Say
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and the thing is I say that with my whole chest, and I wasn't able to do that 3-4 years ago. But
there
I
it
say
is.
that with my whole chest now.
One thing I'm gonna really agree with you on, Ivy. You are awesome. I just want you to know that.
Well,
Dang.
Yeah.
and her and
Yeah.
all of
Yay! As much as me and you argue, we're able to have a moment. Thank you, Dion.
Hey, we're like Batman and the Joker.
We are. That
You know,
means you the
you
Joker.
complete me.
Yeah. We got bedazzled all the
That's
way
right.
today. I'm gonna bring
We
it
are the
back. Bring it
bedazzlers,
back.
right?
Oh my gosh. Vulnerability.
Okay, so
I see
vulnerability,
you,
you see that
newborn.
one? So
Look,
yeah, I would
newborn
say
ain't
more
saying no
vulnerable.
words, but yes. Yes, the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. I mean, and the
Mhm.
thing is that in order to get healed, you got to let your guard down a lot of times.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, you got to let your guard down.
Come
So
out of survival
yeah.
mode.
Yeah, but let's talk about
Come on,
why are you
girl,
guarded. Let's talk about why are you guarded in the first place. It's because
because we've
of
been living in survival mode.
and that's
Ooh.
because of a
Everything
deficiency.
that was
When we're in survival mode, is because we're dealing with deficiencies. So the key then is to transcend those deficiencies, fill your holes. That's what you got to do. And it's about what we don't know about ourselves. You know, once you do that, you ain't got to have a guard up. Just walk, and you can't be vulnerable to attack or, you know, whether physically or emotionally. You can't be vulnerable to that because in the inside, you have to work from the inside out. You know, work from the
I just
inside out.
I just thought about something because we have talked about this many times. Our people cannot come together, one, because we are still living in survival. Our people are still living in survival mode,
right.
period. And you know that you can't get to that next level on the hierarchy unless you come out of survival
Come
mode
out of that.
to go to the
Yep.
next thing. The second part is because of the fact that we're living in survival mode, nobody can, they feel like they can't expose themselves. It's almost like a
Right.
puppy showing their neck. You know how like a mammal shows their neck, like when they know that they're getting ready to die. They feel like the second that they do show their neck or they expose their vulnerability, that they're probably getting ready to go on to the next place. I think is that
Sure.
real. I think is that, you know, something, newborn. Okay, I'm gonna need you to speak into this mic, sir. You keep on posting all
Yeah,
of
and
this
I'm
stuff.
like, can Mr. Dictionary man?
I know with his St. Louis hat on, because you know
Take
your
his
groupies
phone
are out
away.
there looking for you.
Put your phone down.
Representing the STL 314 home of the original St. Paul.
But
Day.
But you know, in response to what you said, we our people is living in survival mode. The only reason why is because again, we're trying to live according to a narrative and construct that was not meant for us. So we're gonna, as long as we're there, we're gonna always be in a survival mode because we were not meant. It's set up for us not to climb, you know, for us to be on the lowest rung of the ladder, right? Now, also we'll remain there until we make the correct choice or we make the correct response to our condition. That's all it is that we have a collective condition that we need to respond properly to, and we have not responded properly to it. Period. So we'll get it though, and I can tell you, it ain't what happened in Alabama. That ain't it. That ain't it. Okay, so we'll see. That's a whole nother show though. I know we running out of time.
That
might not have been it, but I ain't gonna lie. When he threw that hat up, that felt good. I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. When they start making that out of it, I'm about to go get me up. I got a hat. I got a God level hat. That's gonna be my back signal. My God level.
And when I saw the brother swimming, I said, "What?" I said,
Man.
"Never in the history of Negrodom have we seen somebody swim to a fight." I'm just saying. I don't know about nobody else.
Damn. He was
That dude was like, it had
He
no
was
regard for
already
himself.
known.
Like he don't know what's in that
The
water.
strength?
What is he doing?
Yeah, but the strength
And
on
him-
him, they
and
should
he's-
already know not to mess with him. Swim?
He should have known.
Across-
Swimming
swim
gets
across
you
the
tired
pool.
up. He had to take a break when
Yes,
he got
sir.
he finally got up and died.
He did. He got over there. He was like, "Hold on, wait."
He had to take a little break. Then later on, you see him fighting, but
He was
right.
throwing them.
he was
That's
throwing
what
it,
I was
wasn't
gonna
he?
say.
He was.
Them feet was
Throwing
planted.
them.
You said them feet was planted. How you know about them feet
Heck
being planted,
yeah.
Aaron? How you know about them feet being
Because I done planted my feet up.
Ah!
Oh, I'm
That's
pretty
why I
Said
sure.
because
That's why I
he
kept
said,
saying
listen.
I don't want to be considered a victim because I've been planting my feet for so long. But I'm shoot. I'm ready to
Oh
sit down.
goodness.
I think I got one good one left in me. Like the man with the
Uh-oh.
hat.
Listen. She said that. She
Yeah,
said,
because
"Pull
that
the
dude,
string."
he that poor guy. I'm glad people did come to his rescue because he didn't know how to fight.
No,
Listen.
he
like-
was trying to tussle with him a little
He
bit,
was,
but
but he
yeah, he
had
wasn't-
one free arm, and I kept saying, "Man, throw that arm around. Something hit him. Do something." He just his
Yeah.
arm was just out.
Man, listen, he was trying to hold him
It's like,
for his sandwich. I didn't see it. He had a burger from the barbecue that was up on the what's the name. That's what happened. And he was
That's what it was. He was
Oh.
way down.
Mm.
They just came off a dinner cruise or something.
he was like, hold on. That's why he took his hat off. He was like, wait a second.
I just had all this banana pudding, and y'all want to start this stuff?
I just had
Right.
some pudding. I
he
had
got
some
the
red
itis.
beans and
Yeah,
rice.
right. He wasn't, yeah, he had the itis. He wasn't for that. There was some ancestors helped him out. Whoever came 2 hours before them, they brought that.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But
You
think
ain't
about,
lying.
look at it when you look at it again. People was doing stuff out of the ordinary. Swimming, that ain't no. that was something out of the ordinary. That was their
God love you
own
closing.
Love you,
I
love you.
will not be closing tonight. John will be closing tonight. But before we close tonight, I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. Tonight, we just did current events. As you can see, we went where the conversation takes us. We've talked about a little bit of everything. I love these people. Erin, today was her first day with us. You blended in very, very, very well. I love it.
Yeah,
Look
girl.
forward to seeing you back with us
Thank you.
next weekend, next Sunday. Don't forget our powwow this Friday. Ivy Tanner. Did I say it right? I said it right.
Oh.
You know what? I don't know if Saba Diamond has noticed that I've been sending him information on trying to get orders. I keep getting him mixed up with the doctor that I work with.
Now I just know it. I know it ain't for me, so I just ignore it. I just know the main for
Oh,
me.
Lord.
Blood pressure.
Yeah.
Like, why am I getting all this stuff on blood pressure
I'm like,
orders?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What in the world?
I will see that y'all names are closely I'm in this
Mhm.
same thing. King Newborn, he's been quiet tonight, but he's been posting all kind of questions.
The whole time.
The whole time. So has Master. He just been sitting back listening tonight. He ain't too much saying nothing. Just
He
smiling
ain't said nothing.
and promoting
It's
that guy.
It's called illustrating a attentive ear.
Ah. Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm.
John, what you got for us tonight?
Hey, John, before you speak, I just want to say tonight's entirety was for entertainment purposes only. I repeat, it was for entertainment purposes only.
I'm gonna get me one of those mics because I want to sound. Can y'all hear me? Do I sound sexy and seductive? How y'all doing?
Girl, you sound fricasseed and bedazzled. Cut it out.
Did it sound good? Did it sound
She said
good?
fricasseed and
And
fricasseed
Did
and
it sound
bedazzled.
good? Did it sound good? I sound good.
Well, you know,
Look,
you was
I'll
almost
be
there. A
there
little bit
too.
more breathy. Be more breathy with it.
Breathy.
Now you sound like you just got choked. Felt like a crime just happened. But
You know what? I can always count on you to be completely honest.
John,
I can't. I love how dude boy just be like, they tripping. Can we keep this moving, please?
Right. John, what you got for us, honey?
So I said, my mind like an axe when I cut the bullshit with a question, because I'm sharp enough to ax them. I'm a walking axiom, self-evident. The truth is in the pudding, and the pudding is my melanin. Dark skin, light body, not a shadow of doubt. They think negative, like their overdrafted accounts. I'm optimistic by a massive amount just to balance it out. Hey, yo, hustle hard, but you got to be intelligent too. Niggas buy attention, then resell it to you. They buy into bullshit, then retell it to you. Don't ever let a nigga tell your story better than you. And don't misquote my shit. I mean, whatever floats your boat, but I'm all about ownership. Yeah. Owning up to what's on your mind. See, owning real estate is great, but not many can own their time. Believe what you wanna. The moon affects tides and oceans. Meanwhile, we're 70% water. I'll give you a word and make you look it up. I'm a living word. Too many people want to book me up. They're getting booked for drugs. I took drugs in the form of books. Destiny called, and like a silent tambourine, I wasn't shook enough to let it ring. Yeah, there's no debate with that. Been in the prison of my doubt, so I've been waiting on that call to purpose. Do you have the patience for that? Won't say it louder for the ones in the back. Just catch my echo when I leave here. Hope no one suffered for me to be here. Running out of time, but it's faster when I leap years. Silver surfer tendencies. I want to be clear. When I say hoorah, it's not a Marines cheer. I'm asking who's authentic besides me here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So of course, everything that glitters ain't gold. And everything that's gold ain't worth your health, especially when you're old enough to realize the true value of family and your sanity. Yeah, I'm going to live long enough to give the world the florals that it deserves. A gentleman never quarrels. I'm protected by weapons, even more by my morals. My higher mind sees the paranormal as normal. I dumb it down to be cordial. Address me as your eminence if we're going to be formal. What's a lifetime when you know that you're immortal? My love is supernatural. All that hating is abnormal. Just because you're winning doesn't mean that I'm losing. I'm a real man. I never needed to prove it. I became the storm right after I went through it. Realign my movements beyond where the moon is. Bless.
Just shut everything off.
Just
Fuck
because you
Just
just
shut
He said,
everything
just
off.
shut it off.
you winning
Just
don't
shut
make
it off.
Okay.
losing. I'm a
Okay.
real man. I never had to prove it.
Right.
Girl, listen.
Mm,
All the time.
mm,
Yeah.
Dopest in the game.
mm.
I'm gonna have to listen to that again.
Feel free
Fact.
to write you a piece at the end of the show. The floor is yours.
Yeah, just
Aaron can write.
yeah. Ivy too.
Okay.
Ivy, when you gonna write your piece?
I got some pieces. Y'all just ain't asked.
Well, you can close out next week.
Oh God. Oh.
Got him.
Got him.
Bars.
Got him.
All right. I'll bring it back.
Yes.
Sniper shot.
Man, that was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
See,
I know next week I'll have my introduction together since I didn't know about this. I'm gonna be like a
Hey.
Steve Harvey type introduction. It's gonna watch.
She said it's gonna be fire.
I
That's
know.
right.
Ah, man. He always sends us off very well. I'm still working on a
does.
piece right now. It's called Make No Mistake.
Ooh. I can't wait.
Make no mistake, baby. Oh my God. With
like
that
it.
being said, I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. This is Things That People Don't Want to Talk About, brought to you by God Level, Master John Skywalker, King Newborn, Saba Diava, Ivy Tanner, and Aaron. We will see you all back here next week. John, you got me?
Salute, y'all.
Peace.